of Prabhupada singing. It was a beautiful tape he had just done in Los Angeles, and I would pray to him, please come, please come. Mukunda, letters. That's what kept us alive. Prabhupada would write and say, I'm coming. 2 or 3 times he wrote to say, I'm coming by March. And we would write back and say we wanted to get a place first. We really felt it wouldn't be right for him to come unless we had a place first. He wrote a letter to my wife. I was planning to come by March, but my husband is not allowing me. What can I do? The devotees in London not been Prabhupada had not seen Prabhupada in 4 months, and still there was no date set for his visit. Although they sometimes become discouraged and talk of going back to America, they preserve. Prabhupada had promised he would come when they got a temple, and that promise helped them remember that they were personally serving him. They felt that he was doing the work, they were his assistant. His absence was only external. By his instructions, whether written, spoken, or remembered in the heart, he was always with them. He was constantly directing them. I'll stop here and we'll start. Prabhupada ki jai. So today's verse is from Canto 5, Chapter 4, and Text 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is a very straight verse. I can't sing this in tune, so we will just read it. Tasya hava itam. Should we say it together? Repeat, yeah? Tasya hava itam. Varsmana vari yasya. Brihat shlokena chaujasha balena. Priya yasya virya shauryabyam. Chapita Rishab itidam nama chakar. Tasya hava itam varshmana. Variyasya brihak shlokena. Chaujasha balena. Priya yasya virya shauryabyam. Chapita Rishabh nama chakar. Tasya hava itam varshmana. Varyasha brihak shlokena. Chaujasha balena. Priya yasya virya shaurabhyam. Pita Rishab itidam nama chakar. Anybody would like to try? No, okay. We'll go over to a translation. Tasya, of him. Hava, certainly. Ittam, thus. Vashmana, by the bodily features. Avariyasta, most exalted. Brahat Shlokena, decorated with all the high qualities described by poets. Cha, also. Ojasa, by prowess. Balena, by strength. Shreya, by beauty. Ya, Yashasa, by fame. Virya Saurabhyam, by influence and heroism. Cha, and Pita, the father, Maharaj Nabhi. Rishabh, the best. Iti, thus. Idam, this. Nam, name. Chakar, gave. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. When the son of Maharaj Nabi became visible, he evinced all good qualities described by the great poet, namely a well-built body with all the symptoms of Godhead: prowess, strength, beauty, name, fame, influence, and enthusiasm. When the father, Maharaj Nabi, saw all these qualities, he thought his son to be the best of human beings or the supreme being. Therefore, he gave him the name Rishabh. Purport: to accept someone as God or an incarnation of God, one must observe the symptoms of God in his body. All these symptoms were found in the body of Maharaj Nabi's extraordinarily powerful son. His body was well structured and he displayed all the transcendental qualities. He showed great influence and he could control his mind and senses. Constantly, he was named Rishabh, which indicates that he was the supreme living being. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी विचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So today's verse is on the qualities of Rishabdev, and it is said that there, to understand the qualities. Why do we need to understand the qualities of Lord? Because we understand that Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, and we should be doing Bhakti Yoga. But for whom? and that is the Supreme Person. We can't do bhakti for anyone. We do for the Supreme Lord and his devotee. So it's so this verse actually explains how to identify who is that Supreme Lord. What are the signs of identifying that? So when any incarnation comes, like in this case, the Lord Rishabdev, so he had both the physical and mental and other qualities were indicating that he was the incarnation of the Lord. And there are some sort of astrological arrangement as well that indicates that this is the incarnation of the Lord. Like we see in the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that when he came, his grandfather, he calculated his chart. And from his chart, the way the astrological alignment were there, it indicated that, oh, this is Mahaprabhu. And then all the signs in the body also indicate that it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Rishabdev have all these physical symptoms in his body. So his father was very astonished and he was very happy that, oh, Lord has incarnated as his son. So, and what he exactly asked for. So his son had all the physical characteristics, well-built body with the signs of Godhead. Then what were the other signs? There were other mental signs, like mental strength that was explained here, that he had incredible ojas and bala. And it, it has got some similarities, but there is a difference. The ojas is on the mental platform, the mental strength, and bala is the physical strength. So it is explained that even an ordinary human being can get a great ojas, like the mental strength, just by following, as an example of brahmacharya. So by following brahmacharya, one can increase the ojas. That is the, even in Ayurveda, it has been described that somehow it is linked to increasing the mental strength. And we see that devotee is much more effulgence, we can see some shine and the glow in that devotee, and the life of that devotee also increases because it slows down their old age and makes the mind very sharp. So then the senses are able to be controlled, so the mental strength comes from there. And then the bala strength that is explained is the physical strength. So he was Paramhansa. So it is described that he had lot of physical strength in that. And then there were other qualities that is described here is beauty, Shreyashri, Yasha, fame. He was very famous, Virya, was very powerful, Shaurya, the heroism. So all these good qualities of the king were there, and then he was named as Rishabh. So why he was named Rishabh? So because Rishabh means best. So his father named him Rishabh as best. And it also means bull. So now somebody would think, bull, why we are comparing that with bull? So in Sanskrit, there are certain analogies that's been used. Like there are some examples where you would see there are some words like pungoba, which means a male cow or a bull, and kavi kunjara. So somehow the bal or strength is explained, or the best is explained by these analogies that, oh bull among the sages, or oh elephant among all these poets. So the analogy is just a little bit of how do we understand this is best, but elephant among the poets, and that means best. So that's why Rishabh name is there. And then when the name Dev is added, then of course it indicates that the name of the Lord. So that's why Rishabh Dev is mentioned in this verse. And there are some other special qualities of Rishabh Dev. We see that when anybody who is very special, they do something very special. Like even the devotees of the Lord, we see Prabhupada, he has left a legacy behind him of this whole ISKCON society. So then in the case of Lord himself, the incarnation of Lord, Rishabdev, he has left a legacy behind him. The Jain religious principle practices were followed um, after his teaching. It was influenced by him. He left 100 very qualified sons. And of course, we all know about Bharat Maharaj, his son, so who later became Jada Bharat. So he was such a powerful, elevated soul. We have heard the stories in the Bhagavatam. And then there are 9 other sons who managed the territories, and 9 other sons became monk. So they become elevated Paramhansa monk. And this is one example from Bhagavatam where we see that even the king's son can become a Brahmana. So it was the first time. It is unusual. Usually the king's son will be into the administrative activities, will get married, will do all those sort of things that a Kshatriya would do. But these are the examples where they can choose to be a Brahmana. And then there are other 6 opulences describing that was in Rishabdev. So we say Bhagavan. So Krishna is Bhagavan because he has got those 6 opulences in full. We all have those opulences in certain quantity, but Krishna has that in full. And Rishabdev, of course, being the incarnation, he had those qualities in greater extent. So those qualities are that one is very attractive, famous, beautiful, uh, strength, bala, very strong, very knowledgeable, very wealthy, and renunciation. So these are the qualities. That's how we can tell who is Bhagavan. And that's how we can say that Krishna is Bhagavan because he has got all these qualities in full. He is very attractive. He's very famous. Everybody knows him. And he is very beautiful. He has a lot of strength because just as a little boy, we have Radha Gizari on the altar. Just as a little boy, he just one finger he lifted Govardhan. So we can't talk about his strength. He's very knowledgeable. He spoke Bhagavad Gita. He's wealthy because Lakshmi Devi follows him. So of course, all the wealth is with him, and he is renunciate because even being such a great king, we can see his renunciation because when he spoke, when we even see the cover page of the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand his renunciation that he chose to become a chariot driver, even in spite of being a king. He could renunciate his such a opulent position. But people in general, what they do, that they respect these qualities in material sense. So if anybody has got even little amount of these qualities, people would want to have that relationship. And depending on how much one has, one tries to have that relationship. Suppose if somebody is very wealthy, people would want to become friends or go after them or something or other so that either they get some help financially or some donation. Donation is good. We can go after wealthy people to ask for donation because that's for good cause. Then somebody who is very beautiful, then of course in this material world they are more desired by the opposite sex. And somebody who is very famous, people would want to be with them because people think if we just associate with somebody very famous, we will also become famous. So people want some of those qualities with them. Somebody who's very knowledgeable, we want to hear from them, learn from them, so that some knowledge is passed on to us. And somebody who's very renowned, that person gets a bit of lot of respect. So we see that somebody like for sannyasis, they automatically get a lot of respect because we see that the level of pronunciation they have. So, and people think, oh, that's amazing to any type of renunciation activities we see in people. We say, oh, that's amazing. I can't do that. So that's how people get that respect. And somebody who has got a lot of strength, people want to go after them for protection. If we are weak, or yes, we want to be around people who has got a lot of strength, so they can give us that protection. So these qualities are adored. But generally, if somebody has these qualities, depending on that, how other person's needs are, people come together. But that is different in relationship with Krishna. He doesn't look at any of these qualities. So he just wants devotion. That's only one quality he is after, just love and devotion. No matter, are you famous? I don't care. I mean, Krishna doesn't care. Do you have money? He doesn't care. Are you beautiful? He doesn't care. Doesn't care of any of these qualities. All he wants is our love and our devotion. So there's a very nice verse from it is from Padyavali. So where it shows that how Krishna approaches relationship. It is Vyadhyas Vyadhasya Charanam Dhruvasya cha Vayo Vidya Gajendriyasya ka. So the translation I will say for that, I'll read only one line, so we'll go on to the translation for that. So where was the hunter Dharma's piety, Dhruva's maturity, and Gajendra's knowledge? Where was Kubja's beauty? Where was Sudama's wealth? Where was Vidura's noble birth? And where was Ugrasena, chivalrous strength? Lord Madhava is pleased only by devotional service and not by material qualification. So it's a very nice verse explaining that Hunter Dharma's piety, he did not have much piety. But there's a long story about Hunter Dharma's that because of his previous sinful activities, he was a great devotee. And he did some devotional service in his previous life. Because of that, he got the benediction of those devotional qualities, and he became a very good devotee. But because of some of his sinful activities, he had to work as a butcher. So, but still, because of his devotional qualities inside, he was like the Krishna was attracted to him. So, but later on, he left that profession. He was bound by that profession. So this is not encouraging that profession, but it's basically mentioning that even if somebody has less of a piety from previous life, but if we have the devotional attitude, if we have the bhakti in us, we can attract Krishna's mercy. Then in Dhruva's case, he was a young boy. He had no maturity, but he uh, he got Krishna's. All he had was the bhakti that he developed from the guidance of Narad Muni. And Krishna was very pleased with him. For Gajendra, we have a story. He was an elephant, but in previous birth, of course, he was not an elephant, and he was cursed. But he had that knowledge from his previous birth as a great devotee, and that's how he could remember at the time when the crocodile was um, attacking him. He could remember Lord from that knowledge, not really that knowledge, but just with his bhakti, with his bhav, and Krishna could just come and rescue him. So in Kubja's case, she had no beauty. She had like a bent. She was bent in three places, and but all Krishna saw, Krishna didn't see any beauty in her, but all Krishna saw was her devotion, her heart, that how soft her heart was. She was ready to defy Kamsa, which even when he went to the washerman to ask for the clothes, he couldn't give it to Krishna. But Kubja was just ready for the devotion to Krishna and not for the Kamsa. And that's how Krishna was pleased, just by her devotion. We see the case of Sudama. He had very little chipped rice, and he was very embarrassed. So how will I give this to Krishna? I can't. But Krishna is not looking at what we are giving, but he's looking at with how much love and whatever we have, we are giving. And that's how Krishna got attracted. And we see in the case of Vidura, he was called as the Dasiputra. He didn't have very high birth. So he was not even after that, oh, people who were only born in Brahmana classes, they are my topmost devotees. It's not like that. He, whenever he went to Hastinapur, he would go to Vidura's house to eat, or to have to stay with them. He would ignore Duryodhana. Ignore in the sense they would not prefer to go, because Duryodhana didn't have that devotion and bhakti, but Vidura has. So that's all what Krishna is looking for. Then we saw about the strength of Ugrasena. He was a Kshatriya, but he was put in jail by his father, by his son. So Krishna rescued him. So for a Kshatriya, it's usually embarrassed if somebody else rescue you and give you your kingdom back in charity. But this was a different case. Lord is giving you back. So of course there is no embarrassment in that. But that even that strength was not seen by Krishna. All he's seeing is the devotion. So that's why it's very important to understand that Krishna is Bhakti Priya Madhava. He likes bhakti and he's not interested in material quality. So all these material qualities are great, but if that can be used in Krishna's service, then our life can be successful. Because he's Deenabandhu, he is Bhaktavatsal. Then we see how we can develop the advancement, or what are the symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. So one of the symptoms is Ashabandha. That is, there is some hope. That hope, Asha is hope, and Bandha means binding. So there is some hope that will bind us to Krishna, because we do a lot of things, and somehow in our life we may come to a situation where there could be a sense of hopelessness, that, oh, I'm doing so much, I don't know whether I'm even reaching there to the level of that devotion. But that Ashabandha should be there, that hope should be there, that will bind us, that yes, we will be able to get that one day. Raghunath Goswami says that it's just that single thread of hope we need to hold on, that one day we will succeed. And because Krishna, we hear that Krishna is Bhaktavatsala, it gives us more hope. It helps us that, oh, he is going to be with us. He is only looking for love. So that's all we need to develop for him. And but we are run by a lot of anarthas, and there are some gaps. So it is explained here that those two gaps, what are those two gaps? Is we see that from the Damodar Leela, where the two gaps are explained by the two finger shot of when Yashoda Mai was trying to bind Damodar. And that two finger, from that story, we learn that we need to have our endeavor. We need to keep doing our endeavor to please Krishna, and then we get Krishna's mercy. So that kripa will come, but our parishrama should be there, and that should be continued without any hopelessness. So Yashoda Maya she did not lose hope. She kept trying that there it will happen, it will happen, and it will happen, and it happened. Then Krishna ultimately gives us the mercy. So that's why that Ashabandha is very important quality to reach to the advancement. And the other bud of bhava that blossoms, which says that first thing is shanti, that is developing the quality of tolerance and forgiveness. So we are able to forgive, we are able to tolerate the inconveniences. And then another very important quality of an advanced devotee or a bhava bhakti is they don't waste time at all. They only use their time in Krishna's service. They don't waste their time in anything else. Anything, or even if we see them doing something very simple, which we can't perceive that it is bhakti, but it would be bhakti from their side, because bhakti is in the consciousness. So their mind is only thinking about how I can serve Krishna. And then the advanced devotees, or when we have the bud of that bhav, the detachment from any sort of material enjoyment comes. So we automatically get detached. So we wouldn't want to get so much attached to any of those other or running after the material enjoyment. The fourth one is pridelessness, mana shunyata. Shiksha Ashtakam, we always hear this, aman imana dena kirtana sadahari. So it says we give respect to all uh, and does not expect respect back, which is very difficult thing to do. That's the most hardest thing. It says in four things: tolerant as a tree, more humble than a blade of grass, not wanting respect for yourself, and giving respect to others. So we can tolerate, we can try to be humble, we can give respect to others, but not wanting respect for ourselves. If we come to that stage, then we can really advance. But it gets difficult. But even when respect means like some sort of appreciation somebody is looking for, like or at least little bit of acknowledgement. But when we even surpass that stage, then that person is actually very, very advanced. But Vigyan Goswami says that this is the last bit, which is very difficult to cultivate, but it can be done. Then Ashabandha is confidence in Lord's mercy. So we see a lot of advanced devotees, they have a lot of confidence that the Lord's mercy will be there. And that is the sign of advancement, that you are bound by that hope that Lord mercy will come. There's a lot of confidence in that. And then they are longing for the Lord. So that is there. And then constant taste for singing, for holy name, and discussing Lord's qualities and pastimes, attachment to living in Dham like Vrindavan, all that is a sign of advancement. So Rupa Goswami says about Ashabandha, he says of retaining hope, he says a nice verse from Padyavali. He says, it goes like this: I am very weak, lazy to do even the smallest devotional service. So when I hear of the fearless and difficult to perform services performed by the great devotees in ancient times, my heart burns with despair. O Lord, O killer of Aghasura, when I hear that your waves of mercy splash everyone from the demigod Brahma down to the most insignificant creature, then my heart becomes sprinkled with a cooling drop of hope. So there's two stages. When we hear Bhagavatam, when we hear about all these advanced devotees, all these qualities, we say, I don't know when I will develop all this. So our heart burns with uh, that hopelessness, that am I ever going to mirror all these high qualities? But then when we hear that Lord's mercy is there, and then we can develop this, then our heart gets some sprinkle of full drop of full of hope. It's like a hot pan, and it's burning and burning, and you sprinkle it with water, it gets cooled down. So that's how we have to keep that hope, that Ashabandha, and then we will be able to advance. So we see qualities of this advanced devotee is that they hold on to this hope and the Lord's mercy, that it will come to us. And then there are different classes of devotees, as we see Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, and they deal with inconvenience in different ways. Various tests comes. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj explains this, and he explains this very nicely, so I thought to share this. He says that when a Kanishta Adhikari, when a Kanishta level devotee, when he falls for the test of Maya, what happens is he falls prey to that temptation. It very easily get influenced by those bad qualities and get into those modes because they have not reached to the level of that nishtha or that level of strong faith. But Madhyama Adhikari, when they are tested with the Maya, they have the strength. They have the strength that they are able to manage to avoid falling into that trap. they can they can't do so much. I mean, they can do a lot, but they can at least save themselves. They won't be able to fall into that trap of Maya when it comes, because their devotion is quite strong to protect them. And when it comes to Uttama Adhikari, they don't even manage to avoid, but they even convert the Maya. So that's how strong the Uttama Adhikaris are. There are examples like Haridas Thakur. So we see that Ramachandra Khan, he sent a prostitute just to make him fall down, the Haridas Thakur. But he was an Uttama Adhikari, so he converted the prostitute and she became a great devotee. He started chanting rather than him falling down. He raised the consciousness of the person and the other people who are coming to them. So that's how they convert, and they avoid and they convert. Convert in the sense they convert the energy into much higher level. We also see in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, he was only a little boy, but he was at the level of Uttama Adhikari. If nowadays, if we see, a lot of people worry, in especially parents, that now our kids are in devotional environment. When they go to college and other places, they can go influenced by the Maya, or when we are coming to like a devotional community, we are protected. But when we go out, like with our other friends who are very much influenced into the Maya, we can get trapped into all of that. But then we see in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, he was surrounded by all Asura friends, but he was unaffected. And in fact, he could just change them all. He could change them all into great devotees. He transformed them. So that is the power of Uttama Adhikari when a devotee comes to that level. So I'll end this class here with saying that there are lots of good qualities in Lord that we need to see and understand, to see who is the real God. So of course, Krishna is the main supreme personality of Godhead who needs to be worshipped, and his incarnation. And slowly we will get there to all these devotional qualities. At least I will get there. Anybody has any comments or questions? Yeah. That saves us from a lot of difficulties. Right? Yeah. No other questions or comments. I'll end there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Krishna. Mancha Krishna. And Vaishnava in the